You all have already seen our series UK Unlock, and this is a part of that. This is UK Unlock 22. We would be discussing navigating through opportunities and changes post Brexit. Hi, welcome to LawWiser. Today we have Kevin McCole, he's Managing Director, UK India Business Council. So a lot has happened in the past year, and through him we will try and get to know what are those latest updates and developments that are happening, considering those FTA talks are also going to come up soon. So let's get chatting with him and get some insights from him. Welcome, Kevin. Welcome to LawWiser.
Hi, Sania. Thanks for inviting me on today.
So to begin with, if you can start off by sharing some insights on the developments that have taken place in the past year towards the early harvest deal and the FTA negotiations, and how integral are they to the roadmap 2030 for India-UK relations?
It's been a fantastic last 12 months for the UK-India relationship. And I've been reflecting recently, it's about 16 years that I've been working in the UK-India relationship. And this is the most encouraging time that I can remember in that period. And that's really because in May of this year, on the 4th of May, Prime Ministers Johnson and Modi had a virtual summit, and they agreed a comprehensive strategic partnership with a 2030 roadmap. And that kind of a partnership and that roadmap have got 5 important themes: climate change, healthcare, defence and security, trade and investment, and the people-to-people links that bring so much energy, vitality to the UK-India relationship. Now, you asked about the early harvest deal and the FTA. Now, of course, within that 2030 roadmap, trade and investment, I think, is a really central theme, because of all 5 themes, I think they're really important to businesses, and businesses will be important to the success of all 5 themes. Now, the enhanced trade partnership, potential early harvest deal, FTA, these things really matter because you've got the 5th and the 6th biggest economies in the world coming together. That's not important just for the UK and India, but I think other countries would sit up and take notice as well that such 2 large economies are taking their future partnership so seriously. Now, such partnerships and plans and FTA ambitions are not cobbled together at short notice. They're a long time in the planning, and they reflect, I think, in the case of the UK and India, a long-standing and close and really strong partnership. But importantly, a desire to make the partnership stronger, to bring the 2 countries even closer together. So this work that we're seeing coming to fruition now has been in the building and the planning for quite some time. And if you take just trade and investment, I think you go back a few years, 3 or 4 years, the UK and Indian governments initiated a joint trade review where senior officials from both countries started to explore the potential for this deeper partnership. And then in 2019, the governments asked businesses, the UKIBC, to create business-led working groups to capture inputs from companies to help inform the work that the civil servants, the bureaucrats, were doing. And businesses, sort of led by UKIBC, CII and FICCI, made recommendations to Mr. Goyal and his then counterpart, Liz Truss, back in July last year. So, a really important 12 months, but it's the result of years of planning and preparation and determination that have gone into this. I think I'll just make one more point about determination. What we've seen in recent years has been a huge political commitment from Mr. Goyal, Ms. Truss, and now Ms. Truss's successor, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, a political commitment, a political will to strike a UK-India FTA. And that political leadership has been matched by energy and commitment from senior officials in both countries, and really enthusiastically supported by businesses from both countries as well. So an exciting time, and I think 2022 is going to be even more exciting.
True, true. That does look like. Also while we are talking about the past itself, so there have been many sectors that are having concerns. We would want to know which are these sectors that have been recognized as priorities for these upcoming FTA talks, and what are the primary concerns as well.
I think at this stage, before the FTA negotiations begin, I think all sectors are currently on the table, and a broad range of themes are on the table as well. But so it's probably unfair to highlight any particular sectors, but I'll do that anyway, because that joint trade review and those business-led working groups that I mentioned that have been running for a couple of years, they covered three sectors really important to the UK and India. One of them is the food and drink sector, another is healthcare and life sciences, and the third sector is digital and data services. So while all sectors are on the table and will be considered by the governments, we hope, those three sectors, food and drink, healthcare, life sciences, and digital and data services, they have been of particular focus in the last couple of years.
That's true. I think, food and drink, and especially the data ones, obviously there's a lot going on in those areas as well, and people are waiting for a lot of new updates as well. That takes us to the next one, to the concerns from where we were talking about. Some of them have been, reducing tariffs and reducing non-tariff barriers, focusing on simplifying these custom procedures. So these have been like really main concerns for a long time, and this is what would be seen in the upcoming talks as well. So what are you, as per you think, are the views of both the governments?
On both sides, in conversations I've had with the UK negotiators, they've been positive. In conversations with the Indian negotiators, they've been positive. And when we've been sitting with both of them in the same room, both sets of negotiators, they do seem to be on the same page. They share an ambition and a determination. Now, once the negotiations begin, there's no doubt that there will be tough issues to deal with and challenges that they will face. But that political will I mentioned earlier and that determination seems to be there to find solutions to them. What I'm also picking up from talking to businesses is a degree of commonality between UK and Indian businesses. Now, during July and August this year, the UKIBC, we held, I think, 20 round tables that had around 200 companies taking part, from SMEs through to largest multinationals, covering a whole wide range of different sectors. And we put a series of recommendations together to the UK government and to the Indian government, and quite wide ranging given the scope of the consultation we did. But when we sort of drew out some of the core recommendations, the most common requests, they covered 4 or 5 areas. There was a sort of a hope or an ambition from companies that there could be an early harvest deal, and Mr. Goyal is sort of on the record of saying he really wants the early harvest deal, perhaps as early as March next year, which is a very ambitious timeline, but it's good to have that ambition. So businesses too are keen on an early harvest deal, but they're committed to that it isn't a one-off. There has to be a series of harvests, a series of many deals that over time form a more comprehensive agreement. Another common area of focus should be on the tariffs. another being on standards and customs procedures, another on data and intellectual property. And when it comes to data and IP, this is something which I think businesses in both countries are really keen on, because they recognise that the future trade between the UK and India, where the largest growth is going to come, will be in those IP, innovation, tech-rich industries where the UK and India are already world leading, but there's scope to do so much more to drive the growth in those services. When it comes to tariffs, I think what one tariff, again, with Mr. Goyal has spoken publicly about, in which I think is a priority for the UK side too, is to reduce the tariffs on Scotch whisky entering India. They're currently 150%. On issues around data protection, we're in a position where India is forming its non-personal data and its data protection policies, and in a position where the UK is looking at how it may take advantage of having left the EU by modifying its position on its current data protection rules as well. So that sort of the data rules in both countries, if they could be aligned, if there could be a data adequacy agreement between the UK and India, that would be a tremendous move which would support companies from both countries. So they're just a few of the recommendations that came through, as I said, from a very wide-ranging set of recommendations from a huge sample of companies, both British and Indian.
True. That's quite well said, Kevin, because data is something that has a lot of scope, and especially with the data localization policies, and both countries yet to finalize their own data policy. There is a lot that can happen over there, and that actually takes us to the other last question of ours. So that is, what are the other aspects that are crucial to be considered for India-UK trade relations? Apart from all that you have mentioned right now, do you think there's something else that's also very crucial?
I think the one other aspect that came through in our consultation during the summer was the ease of doing business. In all of the roundtables we had, and all 20 of them, businesses were enthusiastic about the FTA and its potential. But there was a recurring message, and that message was, please don't forget the ongoing improvements to the ease of doing business and to enhancing investor protections, to allow businesses that have invested heavily in each other's country to grow their businesses there in a consistent and stable way. And although the World Bank has recently decided it will no longer have its ease of doing business rankings report every year, we really hope that state governments and the national government in India retain their focus on it, because it's something businesses really care about. So the FTA, alongside ease of doing business, get those two things together, and I think the sky's the limit for the UK-India Trade and Investment Partnership.
Great. Thank you, Kevin, actually, for sharing, what all has actually happened for the, early harvest deal and the FTA negotiations, and that India wanting to get it signed early as soon as possible, which, as you say, is, yes, quite ambitious, but yes, nonetheless, it should be, considering there are too many crucial, important points, to be considered and to be finalized, along with the other concerns that both the countries together are working on. So thank you. Any concluding remarks that you have, Kevin, you would like to share with our audience?
Sania, no, just thank you for your time today. It's been lovely chatting, and we've used the word ambition a number of times. Businesses like ambition, and we like the way both governments are progressing towards the FTA. So we wish them great success, and businesses are there to support them achieve that success.
True. That's well said, Kevin. Hoping that all of this would actually eventually lead to ease of doing business for the companies as well. So great. Thank you for your time today. Thank you.
A pleasure, Sania. Thank you. Bye-bye.